Hi everyone, it's Heidi here from Flutter by Heidi, and I'm Heidi Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm talking Blossoms in Bloom, but just the stamp set. So just stamps, ink and paper today, and this is a beautiful stamp set that really doesn't look terribly impressive when you first see it like this, but it's one of the distinctive stamps. There's a lot of texture in there once you stamp it, and I'm going to use it with the lovely Labels Picker Punch as well to make a 2-for-1. So here we go. These are the cards, and they're just from a single stamped image that we're then going to cut in half and create these lovely birthday cards. And I've used some Blushing Bride and Calypso Coral to add some extra dimension and depth onto these stamped images. And then, as you can see, I've just used the lovely labels to create these super little banners. So a great way to batch make cards. I'm just going to show you a couple of quick tips as we go along, and something that is absolutely perfect if you're just starting out with stamping to get you going. So to start off with then, let's make our card bases, and I'm using thick Whisper White for this. And the first thing we're actually going to do is trim it to 29 centimetres. I just find this makes making a card base and doing the layers that a little bit easier when you're starting out. And it's just something I just kind of generally make my bases this size. I'm then going to, on the long edge again, score at 14.5 centimetres. And then we're going to turn it portrait, line it up at 10.5 and just cut it in half. And that gives us our 2 card bases to start off with, like so. Okay, so there are our 2 card bases, our 10th fold. Then we're going to create our layers. Now for this, I've got some Calypso Coral, which I have cut down to 14 centimetres by 10 centimetres. And what I'm then going to do is what we call gutting, which is cutting the middle out. And this is a great way to save on some of your stash. Perfect then for doing our layers on our little banners, or for doing other punching as well. So I've done one already, but I'll just show you on this one. I'm lining it up at 2 centimetres and 2 centimetres on my bar, and I have got the metric version on here today. It comes with the imperial, so it comes with inches down and both centimetres and inches, but there is now the centimetres. So if you're used to working in centimetres, this is a great thing. Very inexpensive. It's about, I think, £3.75, I think, off the top of my head for it. So really great if you are used to working in centimetres. I work in both, so I do vary. So once you've done that, you've lined it up at 2 centimetres, all 4 sides, and you've cut. So we then want some scraps of Calypso Coral, which I've just cut at 1/2 inch. So that's 1.2 centimetres, and I've cut a strip of Whisper White and a strip of Calypso Coral. And then we've got our piece of ordinary Whisper White, which I've cut to 19 centimetres by 13.5 centimetres. And we're not going to cut that just yet, because we're going to do our stamping first. So what I've done is I've popped mine on my Stamparatus. Now if you are starting out, you perhaps won't have one of these, so just use one of your normal large blocks and pop the stamp on there. I was just doing quite a few cards, but you will need the biggest Stampin' Up block to do it. It's actually that's the E block. You'd actually want the F block on that, which is this one, she says, here. Which is a really big block. But to my mind, if you're going to invest in this, I would say go for the Stamparatus. Put the extra bit of money, because it is so versatile. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be stamping down into the centre of our card. So I'm just going to eyeball that roughly to the centre. So I've actually lined it up, so I need to put my paper about 1 centimetre in, like so. And first of all, I'm going to ink up with my Blushing Bride. So if I turn it to the one side so you can see it, and I'm just going to go, pop that underneath there, all over that with my Blushing Bride. So that will stamp out beautifully anyway, so that'll give you a really nice stamped impression. But if you've got another colour and you've got a sponge dauber, then what I'm going to do is just come in very lightly in the very centre of those. You're going to get some shading anyway. And then I'm just popping some little bits around the outside edge. And it just gives it that little bit more colour effect as well. There we go. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that over, press down. Now I've got my little sponge mat underneath there as well because it's a photopolymer stamp. I didn't use my other magnet, which I should have done. And you'll see that's stamped beautifully. You can just see the darker shades on the inside there where I've added my Calypso coral. And we're all ready to finish off with our stamping. So now what we want to do is grab our Stampin' Pierce mat, which of course I have managed to misplace. Okay, don't worry about your Stampin' Pierce mat, we've done most of our stamping. Ah, there we go. Stampin' Pierce mat. If you're using photopolymer stamps, this is a great to get a really good impression on your stamps. Just helps collect lovely crisp images. And I'm just going to come in with some So Saffron ink and pop some centres in the middle there of each of those flowers. I'm then going to come in with my other flower. No, I'm going to do that in a moment. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come in though with my purpose soft sea foam in a moment. So we've just literally stamped that in the middle, added a bit of So Saffron, and then pop this back into your trimmer and cut at 9.5 centimetres. And you'll find that that then creates our 2 card fronts, or almost our 2 card fronts. The next thing I'm going to do, and again you're going to do that, I'm doing this all in one go, is use my Blushing Bride, and I'm just going to stamp where I'm probably going to put my sentiment. That one's possibly a little bit high, so I'm going to move this one down a bit. And you see there the difference in just doing the Blushing Bride and adding a little bit of Calypso coral. I'm using there's a little centre one that comes in the stamp set. So all of these are from the same stamp set. And I'm just going to pop those in the middle there. Coming in with a pale, lovely pale green here, soft sea foam. And I'm just going to pop a bit of scrap paper in here because I don't want to stamp on my Stampin' Pierce mat. And just stamp my leaf up here. And again down at the bottom. Repeat that with our second one. So again, just place the leaves as you want to. You can see here. And while we've got our Stampin' Pierce mat out, I'm going to take those strips of Whisper White and grab my, she says grab my Happy Birthday, and I couldn't find my little block, so I've got a bit of a larger one, but just to show, you know, you don't need to, you can put it on diagonally, it works absolutely fine. So just come a little bit from the end, and if you wanted to cut those first, I'm going to be cutting them at about 7 centimetres before I punch the ends. Just trimming that down to, as I say, that's down to 7 centimetres. scoring won't do much good. And my Calypso coral strips, I'm going to take down to 7.5, just to give a little bit of an edge, a little border. There we go, like so. I'll grab my other then I'm going to come in with my punch. Now this punch is lovely because you can create different shape labels by using each side, and it's got 3 sizes, half, 3/4 and 1 inch, so 1.2, 1.9, 2.5. And all you need to do is, once you've stamped, I'm just going to put it in that little channel, that very smallest channel. If you want to check its level, you'll see, but if as long as you've cut it straight and kept it level, we should be okay. Same again. So I've cut these all the same width, and that way I'm just going to get a border at each end. If I'd wanted to, I could have cut them to 3/4 of an inch, which obviously would have given a border all the way around. But sometimes on a simple card, I just, obviously not quite being as accurate with my cutting on that one, so I'm just going to turn it over and make sure that it's lined up. So just pop it into the channel and then just turn it over, and I'm just looking to make sure it's lining up reasonably evenly on those sides. And the last one, and flip it around, and this is a really useful punch, and we have got another one that's similar coming out as well to make some banners, so worth keeping your eye open for that one. Okay, so come back in. These are our layers, so these can now be stuck onto our frames. So I'm just coming in with a little bit of Tombow around the edges. I'm going to pop that onto there. And the Tombow gives you a little bit of wiggle room, so again, if you're new, I think Tombow is a really good starter glue for you. It's very forgiving. Do get a little bit sticky if you're not careful. So I always say, just remember, it's as if you're drawing with it. You're not putting big blobs of glue. Just draw with it, and that will be plenty of adhesive, particularly when you're doing a frame. Again, there you go. Just pop that on there. Okay. And then those can go onto our cards. And while that's just drying off, what I'm actually going to do is come in on the inside of the cards. And this is a lovely way just to finish your card off. And obviously I generally don't put a sentiment on the inside of my cards. I prefer to write something. I'm just going to come in with a couple of leaves at the bottom there. And then come back in with my flower. I'll pop to the top here. And just to show you the difference in the flower with my Blushing Bride. So I'll do 2 here and I'll show you. So just one with Blushing Bride. Pops in there. Like so. But if you wanted to do it with Blushing Bride and a bit of Calypso Coral, I'm just looking for my dauber. Pop that in. And there you go, you'll see you've got that sort of richer tones coming in as well. And then again, just pop that flower centre. You could always pop a embellishment on the front in your flower centres, but you wouldn't want to do that on the inside, otherwise you're going to not be able to close your card as well as you might. So I'm closing up my ink pads. And then those are ready now for our layers to go on the front. Now another glue that is worth having a look at is the new Stampin' Seal. So this is a tape runner. and it just glides on, and at the end you just need to give a little flick. That means it's not even as firm as a flick, just to break off the glue, because it's really lovely sticky glue. Making sure that I'm sticking that to the front, not where I've just stamped. And then pop that on as our layer. Do the same with our second one. So again, I'm going to come in with my stamping seal. So just very gently, I'm going to say you're almost just doing a little turn. It's not as vigorous as a tick, but you're just breaking the glue off. Okay, and then just pop that on the front of your card. And then all that's left to do now is layer up our sentiments. So again, I'm just going to use my seal to pop that in the middle there. So you've just got a couple of millimetres at each end. So, and then I'm just going to grab my mini dimensionals and pop one in the middle, one on the end, and then all you have to do is just take the backings off those, and then I'm going to centre that over those flowers, like so, and the same on my ones which I've put on this one slightly lower down. Obviously you could have put them at the top, wherever you really want. And there we have, very quick, a pair of lovely birthday cards, easy to put together, 2 for 1, and great to have in your stash. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to purchase any of the products, pop along to my blog, flutterbyheidi.co.uk. Follow the links for this on this blog post. You'll find the link to this blog post is in the description bar underneath this video. Or pop along to heidismith.stampinup.net, and there's a button there for you to click on for my shop as well. Thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe and come back and see me soon. I'd be delighted if you were one of my customers. Thank you very much. Bye bye.